The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has declared Kogi a high-risk state for refusing to acknowledge the existence of the disease, not reporting testing, and not having isolation center, warning Nigerians to be wary of visiting the state. The National Incident Manager of the PTF COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. Mutar Mohammed, said this in Abuja during the PTF briefing on COVID-19.
In addition to this, we have states where data is not coming forth. If we don't test, your data will not be analyzed. If your data is not analyzed, we won't know the level of the epidemic in your state. Notable among the states that have not been reporting adequately include Yobe, Jigawa, Zamfara, and Kebbi State. And of course, Kogi State that has not been reporting at all. States that are not testing are probably at much more higher risk than the states that currently we know as high burden states. A state that is not testing at all is an absolute high risk for Nigerians to go there because there is no testing facility, even if you fall sick, and there is no isolation facility, and they don't even acknowledge that the disease exists. As mentioned earlier, the regulation covers places of worship, public transport, banks, workplaces, schools, and so on and so forth. We expect governments, institutions, owners of private buildings, and other regulators to enforce these regulations by, for example, putting a notice of no mask, no entry, or no mask, no service to enlighten the users of your services. Practical strategies will be adopted that will include mobile courts in strategic locations such as markets, motor parks, and it is expected that every organization will monitor compliance of staff or the space within which they supervise. We are providing advisory to the states to develop and implement community engagement strategy and risk communication strategies to sensitize the public on compliance to these regulations and to promote behavioral changes. Last week, we started with the FCT, where we had a very fruitful meeting with the FCT minister and the stakeholders of the FCT. We are currently developing the implementation plan and the timeline for which the FCT task force will commence operation all over the Federal Capital Territory.